Hello everyone, my name is Jared Beckwith, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the Stanford Marshmallow experiment. So this was a very interesting experiment that made a huge impact on the way that I live my life and how I think about how to attain my goals. So, a little quick overview on this experiment. They took children, young children, and they offered them two options. The two options were, one, if you want a marshmallow, you can have it instantly. You can have one marshmallow instantly. Or if you waited for a period of time, you could double up and you could get even more marshmallows. You could get another marshmallow. So the researchers tracked these children throughout their lives, and they tracked whether the child chose to take the one marshmallow or to double the reward, but delaying their gratification. So the group that chose to take it instantly and take the one marshmallow right now, they wanted it now and they just wanted to eat it, those kids ended up not doing as well as the group that decided to delay their gratification and take the two marshmallows, but they had to delay their gratification temporarily. This showed that the human brain has what is called a present bias. That's the easiest way to think about it. Humans would rather take, for example, $5 instantly than rather take $10, let's say a week down the road or whatever. Which, taking the $5 could be a smart thing to do if you really are starving to death or something and you need it instantly. But over the long run, if you could increase your money just by waiting an extra week, that would make a lot more sense over the long run. And if you plan to be alive during that period of time, you might as well delay your gratification and get the larger reward later on in the future. So the human's tendency to take instant rewards over delayed, increased rewards is called hyperbolic discounting. It's an economics term that's being studied, and it shows that humans have a present bias. I think a reason why humans have that present bias, wanting to take instant rewards over delaying gratification for the future, is because it allowed them to survive better out in the wild when humans were out in the wild tens of thousands of years ago. And humans didn't really live long because if you think about it, there was no hospitals. You couldn't go to the hospital and get an EEG. If you're in status epilepticus and you're having a continuous seizure and it won't stop, there's not going to be a doctor to give you medicine to stop your seizure. No, you're just going to seize out and eventually die. That's one of the most dangerous seizure things. Seizures that last 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, that's very dangerous, and they got to see a doctor immediately. So, and for example, me, if it was tens of thousands of years ago, I had appendicitis, which means my appendix was inflamed and needed to get removed, and if it didn't get removed, it would have pretty much exploded inside of me, and I'm pretty sure I would have died from my appendix exploding, and it would not have been a good time. So I would have died probably at like 20 years old or something. With modern medicine and social programs in the United States, like welfare and stuff, you're not going to starve to death, more than likely. You're not going to die from some crazy disease super young. You're probably going to live a pretty long and healthy life, unless you get completely unlucky. I mean, we are out in nature, so bad things do happen at random, which is something you got to take into account. But more than likely, you're going to live a long, healthy life for many decades to come. So we have to overcome that present bias where we want to take things instantly, and you want to take actions to where you maximize your long-term returns. So that is one of the reasons why I got this car when I was 19 years old. I could have bought a much nicer car. I could have spent $10,000 on a car, bought a $20,000 car, but I decided to buy a $2,000 car, so that way I would have no car payment, I would not be in debt, I would not be struggling to pay this, the insurance wouldn't be high because it's not like it's a crazy sports car or anything. It's a 1999 Honda Civic. But buying this car did bring me some problems, I am not going to lie. I will tell you that in a second. I'm going to show you guys the outside of my car because I honestly like it. Okay guys, here's my 1999 Honda Civic. I got it when I was 19 years old, I'm pretty sure. I honestly really like it. But my girlfriend at the time, she did not like it because it kind of made her look bad if she was dating someone with, you know, not a nice car and doesn't make good money. Kind of makes her look bad, and then her friends talk crap. and then that kind of like ruins the relationship, kind of like pushes you apart. But I knew that if I delay my gratification, get something that's not going to put me in a position where I'm vulnerable if I wanted to build a business in the future, I'm not vulnerable. I don't have a BMW payment. I don't have a Mercedes payment, and I have nothing to lose. If I started a business and I wanted to do something that I was interested in, and then it didn't work out, and I had to sell some fancy car that I spent a bunch of money on because I have no more income coming in if the business fails, then I would have to go backwards. And people do not like to go backwards. That's a reason why I'm very careful about upgrading my car. I have multiple thousands of dollars in the bank. I could drive this car off a cliff and it would not affect me at all, which is how it should be. That's the smart thing. But especially boys, I know from a boy's perspective, you want to impress women so that they'll like you and love you, but picking up women in this car does not work. I'm not saying you need a Lamborghini, because girls probably wouldn't like that as much either, because it's maybe a little much, but having a nice car actually helps with women. Having a Lamborghini and stuff like that, that would attract more guys than women, because it's just evolutionarily smart for women to get a mate who can attract resources and has power, so that their offspring will have the best chance of survival. My 7-year-old brother Matthew and his friend Phoenix, they asked me, Jared, what are you gonna buy with all this new money that you're making as an EEG technologist? So I sat there and I thought for a second. I'm like, what do I really want? First thing that popped in my head was food. I love to buy food. Food is a necessity, so you're not wasting money on food. And then the second thing I thought, so the kids were asking me, are you gonna buy a car? Are you gonna buy a house? No. I thought, no. What I'm gonna buy is engineers. Engineers is what I was gonna buy. And that's what I invested my money in. I paid my brother Christopher, who's studying engineering, and we came up with a minimum viable product, an eyes open, eyes closed detector that automatically labels EEGs when the patient has their eyes open and eye closed. So you can easily see the reactivity of the EEG. The doctor wants to see that on every EEG. Neurologists like to see that. And my investment, it was a small investment. Paying more engineers will produce more revenue, which will produce more cars if I want it. In the future, I could get any car that I want because I chose to take one marshmallow. As a young person, I can get the whole bag. In the future, let's say 10 years down the future, I could get literally anything that I want if this experiment works out. So other than engineers, I could invest my money in the stock market. S&P 500 index fund with low fees will probably get me around 10%. That's an easy way to think about it. It's not going to be exactly 10%, but that's an easy way to think about it. But if I invest in engineers, I could get hundreds of percents, maybe thousands of percent return on my capital. And the three things you want to know about money is that first you have to learn how to make money, then you have to learn how to keep it, because once people make money, they blow money fast. They want to just get rid of it. They buy a nicer car, they buy a nicer house, they buy a bunch of clothes. If it makes you happy, that's cool, but you also have to be planning for your future. So you have to learn how to keep money. And once you know how to make money, keep money, you're going to want to learn how to multiply money. And that is capital allocation. You have to figure out what is the most efficient place to put my capital so that I can make a good return. Over 10% is better than real estate, better than the stock market. And if you invest in your own business and it ends up being successful, it's going to be worth a lot of money. And since I'm self-funded, I don't need any venture capital, no investments. I get to keep all the equity in the business and spread it with my co-founders, my engineers, and it's going to be worth a lot of money in the future. Let's just say we'll be able to share the whole bag of marshmallows. It's genius, guys. And that is just the quick overview of the Stanford Marshmallow experiment. Stanford and Silicon Valley is all about technology startups too, and that's what I'm interested in. So I thought that's what I would talk to you guys about. I went and bought a bag of marshmallows just for this video. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe down below, connect with me on LinkedIn, shoot me a message. Guys, I just want to say I thank you so much, and I'll see you all on the next video.